Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will discuss metrics and graphical representations of relations and closure of a relation. Let us start with matrix representation of a relation. Let R be a relation from X, where X equal to X1 to Xn, and Y from X to Y, where Y equal to Y1 to Yn. So, matrix of a relation we denote it by MR. This is a matrix, and suppose its ijth element is aij. Order of this matrix will be m by n. Now where aij this equal to 1 if xi is related to yj, or you can say xi yj belongs to R. I value of I will lie between 1 to m and j between 1 to n. So ai is equal to 1 if xi is related to yj, 0 otherwise. 0 otherwise. So in this way you can write the elements of the matrix. I will give you a simple example. Suppose x equal to a comma b, and suppose y equal to 1 2 3, and suppose R is a relation from x to y, and R is defined as a1 a2 and suppose b3. Suppose assume only 3 elements are there in relation R. So the matrix of this relation will be a matrix of order 2 by 3. So 2 by 3. 2 means the rows corresponding to the elements A and B, and the columns will be corresponding to 1, 2 and 3. So in this way you can define the structure of the matrix or order of the matrix. Now look at this. A1 is there, so A is related to 1 if xi is related to yj. So A is related to 1, so this is 1. A is related to 2, so this is 1. B is related to 3. B is related to 3. So this element is 1. Otherwise all elements will be 0. So this is the matrix of this relation R. Now when we define a relation R on X, for example x equal to x1 to xn, then the matrix will be square matrix. In this case the matrix MR, this will be a square matrix aij. This will be a square matrix of m by m when we define a relation R on X. So in this case this is a matrix aij equal to, this order of this will be m by m, and aij will be defined as aij. You can write it again same way. 1 if xi related to xj, xi related to xj, 0 otherwise. 0 otherwise. So if xi is related to xj, this is 1 ai is equal to 1, 0 otherwise. In the same way here you can, in rows you can write all the elements, in column you can write all the elements, and you have to check the relation. If this element is related to this one, ith is related to jth, then it is 1, otherwise 0. So in case of a relation on X, the matrix of the relation will be a square matrix, and from this matrix you can check whether a given relation is reflexive, symmetric or transitive. How can we check it? For reflexive, you know xx. For reflexive, you know xx must belongs to relation R. So if aii if aii both are I, if aii equal to 1 for all I, or all I belongs to I less than greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to m. If aii equal to 1 for all I 1 to m, then you will say the relation is reflexive. So you have to check. aii means diagonal elements. If all diagonal elements are 1, then you will say the relation is reflexive. Now for symmetric, For symmetric, if aij equal to 1, then we must have aji equal to 1. So this is the condition for symmetric. So you have to check if aij equal to 1 and aji is also 1, then the relation will be symmetric. So you have to check each of these elements where aij equal to 1, and you have to check the corresponding aji, this element. If it is 1, then you will say symmetric. Similarly, we can define transitive. If aij equal to 1 and ak equal to 1 and akj equal to 1, then aij this must equal to 1. If aik equal to 1 and akj equal to 1, then aij this must equal to 1. So you have to check ith row, and if you find in kth column aik this element is 1, and if in kth row in jth column an element is 1, so aij this element must be 1 for the relation to be transitive. Now we'll take one example. Let R be a relation on x equal to 1, 2, 3 defined as x related y if x is less than or equal to y. Now find the matrix of the relation R and check whether it is equivalence relation. Equivalence means reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So x equal to 1, 2, 3. So first we will write the elements of R. The elements of R, x less than or equal to y. So we can write 1, 1, 1 less than or equal to 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Similarly 2, 2 and 2, 3, and finally 3, 3. So these are the elements of R which satisfy this definition: x is less than or equal to y. Now the matrix of this relation MR. So this will be a square matrix of order 3, 1, 2, 3. So this will be a square matrix of order 3. Now look at this 1, 1. So 1, 1. 1 is related to 1. It means this element is 1. 1 is related to 2. This is 1. 1, 3. Now 2, 2. 2, 3. And finally 3, 3. So these elements are 1. All other elements will be 0. So this is the matrix of the relation R, which is defined in this way: x is less than or equal to y for all x, y belongs to x. So this is the matrix of the relation. Now if you check this matrix, all the diagonal elements are 1. This is a11, a22, a33. So all these elements are 1 for all I is 1, 2, 3. You can say ai this equal to 1. Therefore R is reflexive. Now if you check for symmetric, 1, 2, a12. Look at this, a12 equal to 1. a12, this element is 1, but a21, but a21 is not equal to 1. But a21 is not equal to 1. It means the relation is not symmetric. Relation is not symmetric. Now check for transitive. First start with the first row, a12 this equal to 1. Similarly a13 equal to 1. So in the first row we have two elements which are 1. Now we check the second row. In second row a22 equal to 1. a23 equal to 1. a23 equal to 1. So first we check only these, then we will move to third row. So a12 equal to 1 and a22 equal to 1. It means if you apply this transitive rule, then a12 must equal to 1 if you combine these two. But a12 is already there. That's why they satisfy the transitive rule. Now check this and this one. a12 equal to 1. a23 equal to 1. So a13 A12 and A23. So A13 must equal to 1. So A13 is 1. Look at this. This is already given. It means this, and if you take these two elements, then you will get A13, which is already 1. Now check from this one, A13 equal to 1. So this is the first index is 2. So nothing to do with this. Similarly, this is again 2, nothing to do with this. So we have only one pair A12 and A23 which we can combine. So A13, if you combine these two, A13 is there. Now if you check the third row, A33, this equal to 1. So can we combine this one? Yes, we can combine this with this one. A13 equal to 1, A33 equal to 1. So if you combine, you will get A13. So which is already given here, 1, 3. Similarly, if you combine A23 and A33, again you will get 2, 3, which is already given. So we have checked all the possibilities. It means for every Aik equal to 1 and Akj equal to 1, Aij is also 1. It means the transitive rule is satisfied. So the relation is transitive. The relation is reflexive and transitive only, but not symmetric. That's why not an equivalence relation. Not an equivalence relation. So in this way, we can find matrix of a relation and we can check whether the given relation is reflexive, symmetric or transitive. Now graphical representation of a relation. Let R be relation defined on X. We have defined R on this set X1 to say Xn. So to represent this relation graphically, we take all these elements as nodes. For example, this one. I take a simple example. Let X equal to, say for example, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And suppose R equal to 1, 1. Suppose 2, 3 and 1, 2. Suppose only 3 elements are there. So for each of these elements x1 to xn in generalized way, for example 1, 2, 3. So for each of these, we will use these dots, or we say these are vertices. These are vertices. This one is 1, 2 and say this is 3. So the elements of the set X will be represented by dots or vertices. Now for each ordered pair, 1, 1, this is ordered pair. So each ordered pair we will show this ordered pair using a directed edge from this first node to the second node, or from first vertex to the second vertex. Since here both are same, so we will have a directed edge from 1 to 1. So this ordered pair will be represented by this edge from 1 to 1. Now 2, 3. So 2, 3 means from 2 to 3. So this is a directed edge from 2 to 3. Now 1, 2. So 1, 2. This is represented by this directed edge. This is the graph of relation R. So this is the graphical representation of a relation. So first what we have to do, we have to represent the elements using vertices, and for each ordered pair we have to make a directed edge from the first vertex to the second vertex. In this way we can define the graph of a relation. Now again, with the help of graph, we check whether the matrix is reflexive, symmetric or transitive. If again for reflexive, and for each element, if self loop is there, this is known as self loop. If for each element self loop is there, then you will say it is reflexive. And suppose look at this, if 1, 2, if there is an edge between two vertices, for example say 1, 2, then for this relation to be symmetric, there must be an edge from 2 to 1 also. Similarly, you have to check for all these edges. Now for transitive, if there is an edge from suppose vertex x to y, and again there is an edge from y to z, then there must be a directed edge from x to z. So in this way we can check whether the relation is reflexive, symmetric or transitive. Now again we take the same example. Here first I write the elements. The elements are 1, 1, 2, 2 and 3, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3 and 2, 3. So these are the elements of R. Now we denote the elements by vertices or nodes. You can write it 1, 2 and 3. Now look at this 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So this will be a self loop at 1, again a self loop at 2 and again a self loop at 3. So these three elements are represented by self loops. Now 1, 2. So there will be a directed edge from 1 to 2, 1, 3. So 1, 3 means this edge, and 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So this is the graph of the relation R. Now if you see, for each of the vertex self loop is there. That's why it is reflexive, because self loop is there at every vertex. That's why it is reflexive. Now you can see there is an edge between 1, 2, but no directed edge is there between 2 and 1. That's why not symmetric. Not symmetric. Now you can check. There is an edge between 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. And look at this. There is an edge between 1 to 3. So this satisfies this transitive rule. That is, an edge for an edge 1, 2 and 2, 3. There is an edge between 1 and 3. So only this possibility is there. That's why this relation is transitive. So in this way you can check whether a given relation is reflexive, symmetric or transitive with the help of graph of the relation. Again, here I have taken the relation R on X. If you have a relation R from X to Y, then you will have different nodes. You will have nodes from X as well as Y. So you can also define a relation from X to Y, but here the number of nodes will be increased and you will define these edges accordingly. Now closure of a relation. So first I will define what is a closure of a relation. Suppose a relation R is given on a set X. Now it may be possible that R is, for example, reflexive, symmetric or transitive. I will say a particular type of relation. This particular means it may be reflexive, symmetric or transitive. But it is not necessary that it is reflexive, symmetric or transitive. So if it is not the particular type of relation, means it is not supposed reflexive, not symmetric, not transitive. So can we make it reflexive, symmetric or transitive? So to convert the relation R into a particular type of relation, it means we have to add some elements in it, because right now R is not reflexive. It means some elements are missing from R. Now we have to add some elements, to relation R to make it reflexive or a particular kind of relation. So we will get a superset of R. We will get a superset of R. So suppose superset is R1. We have added some element in R, then we get R1. So you can say R is a subset of R1. So the closure of relation is the smallest relation R1 whose subset is R. So this R1 is known as closure of the relation R. This is, remember, this is the closest, this is the smallest particular type of relation whose subset is R. This particular type of relation, it may be reflexive, it may be symmetric, it may be transitive. So let us discuss one by one. So reflexive closure. The reflexive closure of relation R defined on a non-empty set X is the smallest reflexive relation that contains R as a subset. Smallest reflexive relation. It means R, if R is not reflexive, then we will add some element to R, then we will suppose we get R1, and R1 is say the smallest reflexive relation. And if this is smallest reflexive relation, means we got it by adding some elements in R, so you can write R is a subset of R1. So R1 is the smallest reflexive relation, so R1 is called reflexive closure. So closure simply means to make the relation a particular type of relation. It may be reflexive, it may be symmetric, it may be transitive. In each case the definition will be same except this reflexive, symmetric or transitive. It means if the given relation is, suppose for example, reflexive, then it is the reflexive closure of itself. But if it is not reflexive, then we have to add some element to find a superset of R, say R1. So if R1 is the smallest reflexive relation, then R1 is the closure of R. So how can we get R1? Now look at this. For reflexive, for all x belongs to capital X, we need xx must belongs to R. If it is not reflexive, it means some xx are missing from this one. So we have to add those missing elements. So in generalized way, we can say the reflexive closure of R can be, we can find reflexive closure using this relation. This relation xx is also known as identity relation. Identity relation. Identity you can denote it by ix. You can say this is xx. All ordered pairs will be of the form of xx. For all x, we can write it x belongs to capital X. Means for each x, xx, these types of elements will be there. So this relation is identity relation. So you can write the reflexive closure of R is R union Ix. It means if you take the union of these two, all the missing elements of xx will be included in R union Rx. So this is suppose R1. So R1 is the reflexive closure of R, and we can find it using the union of R and Ix, where Ix is identity relation, because in Ix all the pairs of xx will be there, and if you take the union of Ix with R, all the missing elements will be included. In this way you can find the reflexive closure of R. Now symmetric closure, the same thing. To find the symmetric closure of R, we need the smallest symmetric relation that contains R. It means if R is not symmetric, then we have to find a superset of R, say R1, which is a smallest symmetric relation. Now how can we find R1? In symmetric we say for all xy, if xy belongs to R, then yx must belongs to R. So this is the condition of symmetry. So how can we find R1? It means to find R1, that is a symmetric closure of R, we can find the union of R and R inverse. R inverse will include all these yx. It may if R is not symmetric, means for some xy, yx is not there. It means when we find R inverse, so R inverse will include all these elements of type yx for a element xy. So if you find the union of R and R inverse, the relation will become symmetric relation. So to find the symmetric closure, find the union of R and R inverse. So in this way you can find the symmetric closure of a relation. Now transitive closure. Transitive closure of a relation is defined as Again, the smallest transitive relation that contains R as a subset. So R is the relation. It means you have to find again R1. R1 is a superset of R such that R1 is the smallest transitive relation. So how can we find this R1? Sometimes this transitive closure of R is also denoted by R star. R star. So to find R star, what will we do? Here R1 I have denoted R1. Basically I will use R1 out for another one. So better to write it R star. We will write it R star. So R star say is the transitive closure of R. It means R star is the smallest transitive relation that contains R as a subset. So to find R star, what we can do? First we will find R is given. First we will find R square. R square means this will give you R square is R composition R. R composition R. It means this will include all these. Suppose 1 related to 1 related to 2 and 2 related to 3 in R. So in R square we will have 1 comma 3. Look at this. 1, 2, 2 related 3 is given in R. Then in R square we will have 1 related 3. It means we will get this element. Now find R cube. This will be R square composition R, and repeat this up to Rn because n elements are there. This is Rn minus 1 composition R. So this will include all these possibilities. It is not necessary that you have to go up to Rn. It may be possible that process will be terminated. You will get the same kind of set up to a particular step. So no need to go further. This will depend on example. Okay. So in this way you can find R square, R3, Rn. Finally to find R star, find the union of all these. R union, R square union, R cube union and up to R. So in this way you can find the transitive closure of a relation R. In next lecture we will discuss some examples of closure of a relation, and we will also discuss one algorithm, Warshaw's algorithm, which is used to find transitive closure of a relation. So I hope that you got the concept of closure of a relation. The next lecture we will further discuss closure of a relation through an example.